I'm trying to pull something up for you guys to see this. What I'm pulling up is Paulie Malignaggi. This is actually insane. Okay. Peep game on this.
I just want to give everybody a big thanks for all your well wishes. Getting out of this eye, it was all white. So that means from about round 2 when I put that bad eye poke, I was fighting with one eye the whole fight, It's kind of crazy.
It was a bad eye poke too. It was a
fight by
scratch.
Tyler, It was, I hope everybody was entertained. I really appreciate everybody's well wishes and caring. I think all in all, if you eliminate the fouls, it wouldn't be a lot of damage. The big cut is from a headbutt.
Paulie fought well.
Eye issue is from my eye poke, and the broken ribs in my back are from dirty kidney punches. So if we eliminate those things, I think the fight becomes probably less competitive. But nonetheless, good entertaining scrap. I thought me and Tyler put on a good show, and I wish him the best. And that's it, man. But will somebody let me know why Leeds General? I don't know. Is this all the hospitals in the UK? Do you just come here and never get stitched up? This is a record. I've never seen this in my life.
Stitched up. It's taken
they
8
actually
hours.
gave me a CAT scan before they stitched me up. I'm still not stitched up, guys. How does this work? Somebody let me know how this works. Leeds General Hospital. Do they have people that stitch people in hospitals in the UK? How does it work? I don't know. I'm still here.
This is insane. Look at this.
What's up, everybody? I just want to give
obviously I wanted to play that because there's a couple different levels to why that's insane. And we're going to get to the weekend. We had a busy weekend. We're going to talk about our wins, our losses. We're going to talk about how we did. We're going to look ahead a little bit. We're going to address some the weekend's Discord controversy, which we always do. Whenever there's controversy, the one thing I do is I address it head on. I want to start here, though, because anybody who's ever been a fighter before, anybody who's ever been injured before, had a traumatic injury to where you have to get stitched up or you need scans and you need to sort of do an internal diagnostic check, you will know the importance of doing that quickly, especially with how the skin heals. That big one here from the headbutt and then this one as well. The reason why you want to get stitched up ASAP is for obviously healing purposes, and it helps reduce the impact of the longevity and the severity of scarring. And the fact that this guy is a famous former world champion Hall of Fame boxer who just headlined a main event in the UK, and it's taken him, he said at this time at the upload, I think it had been 8 hours that he hadn't got stitched up. This is an issue. This is horrific. You got to look into the commission. Obviously, you got to start at point A. You don't just go to point B. Obviously, the hospital and the system, that's a whole nother conversation, which has a lot to do with politics. But you got to start at the organization. I know it wasn't BKFC. It wasn't the main Bareknuckle organization. It was one of these other ones. But the fact that they don't look after their fighters or the checks and balances of after a fight being sort of walked or guided per se, metaphorically, to make sure that you are healthy enough to get on a plane, get in a car, go home to see your family. This is insane. This is actually bad business for Bareknuckle. This is bad marketing for Bareknuckle all around as a sport. And the funny thing about this was going into fight week, Paulie gave a pretty authentic interview, and he was talking about why he chose Bareknuckle. He was talking about he wants to be a champion. I think championship fights in Bareknuckle are only 6 rounds. This one was a 5-rounder due to non-championship status. But he talked about when you don't have the gloves on, optically, obviously the damage looks worse. But because you're not wearing gloves, 10 ounces, the damage isn't as much. You're not allowed. You can't hit as hard as a puncher. You can't sit down on shots as a puncher. You have to be a little bit more tactical with your approach if you don't want to break your hands. And that was his reasoning. And you put that next to this, it's pretty tough to see. I got to be honest. Paulie was one of my favorite fighters. We're around the same age. He's a year or two older than me. I think he just turned 44. And I always go back to the Malignaggi Miguel Cotto fight, the Puerto Rican Day Parade fight, early 2000s. You had half of the Garden Italian, the other half Puerto Ricans. I brought this up on my stream with Gary from 3D late last week. And from that point on, just how Malignaggi would operate, everybody knew going into a fight with him, you weren't going to get a big puncher. You weren't going to get a guy who had the type of power to get you respect, but you were going to get a skilled technician, a thinker, a high fight IQ, a guy who had great defense, a good jab. He could score points, he could win rounds, and he knew how to operate at the highest level against some of his generation's biggest punchers. And I think that he doesn't get enough flowers for his career. I think people, a lot of the new fans, would either know him from what happened with Conor McGregor and when that sort of sparring footage went viral. And Paulie, he's always been who Paulie is. Paulie is who he has always been, and this is I think this is another example of how big of a savage he is, stud. I just don't like seeing our world champion fighters prolonging a career and getting damaged like this. He did say it's superficial, but that, the hand's not superficial. The broken ribs isn't superficial. The trauma from the headshots and the headbutts. So, I mean, I'm not going to judge a man. I'm gonna praise the man, but it's tough to see when you're 44 years old. But we only live once.